How many of you are programmers? How many of you are like programming and this kind of stuff? Okay, a couple of hands. How many of you know what is this less code, no code, less code, low code, this platform that we can create application without coding or with very low code? Cool, a couple of them. So that's what I want to share with you, because we are starting to see more and more and more about people using this technology, people who are not usually programmers, to build solutions, to create solutions. And hey, if you think about you need to do a survey and you want to create your own platform for a survey, what do? You probably, one option of course is go to SurveyMonkey and do your stuff, but if you really want to do this on yourself, you need to create a web page with the questions, you need to host this web page somewhere in the web, you need to save the data from the survey, you need to create something to analyze the data, you need to add some security probably there. There are plenty of things that you need to do, and this platform, the Power Platform example, is a platform that allows you to do plenty of stuff, and you don't need to worry about these deployments, securities, users, and this kind of thing. So the idea of the Power Platform is basically allows everyone in an organization, in a school, in any environment, to create solutions without writing any code. And this type of solution, I'm going to show you a couple of them. So let's take a look at.
Hi, my name is Tim Herron. I'm the CEO and founder at Degrees of Change.
I'm Zenobia. And I'm Zara. We both are 10 years old. We study in grade 5, Middleton International School.
My name is Anbu Anbarasu. I lead the low-code services team within EY Client Technology.
Our mission is to equip diverse, homegrown leaders to succeed in college and career so that they can be the ones who can lead our communities towards a more vibrant and equitable future.
It's very easy to turn our ideas into reality within a matter of few hours or days. Pretty much everybody can learn to use it. All you need to know is a bit of Office, such as PowerPoint and Excel, and you can get started with your Power Platform.
During COVID, one of the FSO teams reached out to us to work on the Paycheck Protection Program solution. The program entitles any small business owner in the US who is impacted by the COVID lockdown to go into a bank and apply for a PPP loan. So EY wanted to simplify the process for both the banks as well as the borrowers.
When we discovered the Power Platform, it was a game changer for us, because now our team of just 2 people were able to make responsive changes and add new features as the need surfaced. We needed a technology solution that protected students' information, but also allowed our team to apply an assessment and scores in an equitable way that allowed us to get to the heart of what we're looking for in our next generation of scholars.
My favorite app is the book recording app because it helps me to give my own rating and tell what I dislike and like about it. My favorite app would be the allergies app. I have recently made this app for my friend with peanut allergies. So I decided to help her out and create an app to find out what brands she could eat from and what brands she could.
The key differentiator on why we chose Power Platform is how easy and quick it is to develop solutions. Powerapps, Power Automate, and data come together and integrate very seamlessly. Since launching the solution, we were able to process the loan amount for 50,000 small business owners, totaling $10 billion in loan forgiveness.
Powerapps has enabled us to build things that we didn't think we could. It feels like we're punching above our weight with the limited resources that we have to develop really amazing tools.
Powerapps does allow you to make better apps. We want to inspire girls of our age and take up confidence that if these twins can learn Power Platform, use AI and build mobile apps, then why can't they?
I was truly grateful for being part of the solution. It feels great to have delivered this at a very crucial time when people really needed it.
Building this application has only unleashed our imagination about the new ways that we can use technology to support and empower our students moving forward.
Super cool story. I love it. And hey, that's suggestions. I always care about this because you will get some, when my kids use my YouTube account, you will probably going to see here some Peppa Pig or Squarespace. It's all technology, so I'm fine. What is the Power Platform? It's a set of tools. We have several different sets of tools. I am going to do a quick overview today, right now, but I also want to give you the chance. I am going to show you a real example. I'm going to build this solution because I believe in coding, I believe in showing, I believe in demos. So not much time spent here in the slides, but working with this. One of the key parts of the Power Platform is the Powerapps. Powerapps, imagine that how many of you use PowerPoint? How many of you can do slides? Or can you create a slide? Okay, if you can create a slide, you can use Powerapps. Powerapps is basically a drag and drop scenario where you are going to define views, you are going to define an application with everything that you need in an application, a login form with a couple of text box for the username and the password and a button, and the button will call a different view. All of these are defined here. And hey, it's a super, super easy environment to start. You don't need to code. If you know coding, you can add some extra features, but out of the box, there are plenty of things that you can do. And as you see, in one of the demos, one of the little kids, she shows how in the Powerapps that they created, they also have access to a camera to scan I think it was a barcode of a food to define if the food is some, I don't know, nuts or something to define if the kids with allergy can eat it or not. That's also stuff that you can do in Powerapps. Access to the camera, show PDF, print stuff. It's amazing. It's an environment to create visual applications. Another important part here is Power Automate. These are flows. These are automations that we can create, and they are going to be triggered in specific events. So, in example, if you want to do something every time that you get an email, if you get an email and you want to check that the email has some specific words, and if the email has some specific word, you want to start and approve process, or when you get an email, you want to do something else, or when someone tweets something, you want to monitor a tweet account, and then when someone tweets something, analyze the tweet and say this tweet is fine or good. This is all triggers that you can use here, and it's not, by the way, this is not, even if it's in the Microsoft scope, one of the most important features about the Power Platform is that you can work with tons of different connectors and different platforms. So you can do all of this email. Every time I have a new email, save the attachment in this repository, in example, in Outlook.com, that's kind of out of the box. In Gmail's account, using OneDrive from Microsoft, or using Google Drive, or you can do this with other platforms. There are plenty of connectors here that allow you to do these kind of things, and this is all about automations. What do you want to automate? How do you want to do stuff? I am going to show you a couple of them later. Then we have another piece, super important piece, which is around BI. When you have data, how you can show, how you can work with this data. And of course, the main feature here is super cool charts, animated charts, whatever you want about charts. But there is a lot of AI in these tools. You can drop very big pieces of data here, and you can say, okay, give me some insights. And it's going to start to analyze the data, and it's going to give you insights. In example, if I start to analyze, I have a full scenario here where I talk about, I have a squirrel that's come in Canada. I'm going to show you a demo later, and I have a feeder, and this feeder is connected to the cloud, it's sending information every time that I have squirrels. So a friend of mine who knows these tools helped me to analyze this data, and he helped me understand that my squirrels are getting fatter because I start to get more and more coming to eat at my home, and they always eat between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. I didn't write any line of code, just drop the data here, and he showed me how to do these kind of things. It's a super cool tool, and it has plenty of amazing features. Then we have agents. Agents are basically chatbots. You can train these agents, you can feed the agents with any kind of knowledge, and they are going to be smart enough to understand your domain and help you to answer some questions. And this seems very easy about the chatbot, but everything that's behind how you analyze how you work in the conversation of a chatbot, it's super, super amazing. And again, no coding here. It's a visual environment where you can do these kind of things. And there are more. You can do AI. What we are doing right now for the AI gaming challenge, where you are using custom vision to analyze this, you can train your model. You can train a model to identify this is a dog or this is a cat, and then use this trained model to to basically be embedded in a Power App. So if someone is walking around with a Power App and take a photo, it's going to say, this is a dog or this is a cat. I think Pete is going to show something around this later in one of the IoT demos, but no code here. It's all out of the box. And not just dog or a cat. Imagine that you want to analyze in the wall if there are some cracks or some problems. You can train a visual model to analyze this. Then you have, as I mentioned, connectors. Plenty of connectors. Tons of stuff that you can do here. And it's amazing. It's the best part of what you can do. So one more quick video and then go to the demo.
I don't just want to make a living. I want to make a difference. When I left school at 16, my dad was working in Heathrow at the time, and this opportunity came up as becoming a security officer. I thought, what a great opportunity, you know. My dad used to take me here to see planes and everything. So why not work for a company or an airport like Heathrow? I've been a security officer for 13 years. When I saw the amount of paper and time we were spending, I saw an app would be a great solution for these problems to be solved. About a year ago, I started learning about the Microsoft programs. I went home and I looked at a blog from Powerapps, and it said, this is how you can build an app. And I thought, why doesn't no one know this? Because this could have so much potential to change so many things. We have saved 11,000 sheets of paper and saved around 288 hours of manual input data. Going from paper to digital has been amazing. It doesn't matter what your skill levels are like, anybody can build this app.
Him with his community of super users have created 17 Powerapps that are already being used across our airport, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
My name is Sam Saini, and I'm a IT user adoption specialist at Heathrow. There's no limit of what you can create with new technology. I'll create a new career.
Crossing fingers. Fine. Let's about the use cases and let's see how this works. Let's go for it. So, by the way, if you want to try Powerapps, go to outlook.com if you have an account there. If you don't have an account there, I'm sorry, create a new account and you will have access to kind of a small set of features that you can use there. But this is what you will see when you have a Powerapps. I have here a couple of accounts. So this is Adele, not the singer, but this is a demo account that I have. And here, when you are, she has all of the products that you can use in the Microsoft stacks. And one of the products that I have here is, in example, Power Automate, Powerapps, Power BI, and more. If I want to do, in example, an application, let me show you Powerapps how this works. So you can see here that I create applications from scratch. I can create a blank app. What I really like here is that I have a lot of templates. So I can go here to apps, create a new app, and then choose one app from the templates. Let's create one Kanban apps. And I can define the format that I want here for a tablet or for a phone. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but yes, this works on a browser, works on Windows, works on Mac, iPhone, Android. It's multi-platform. But I have plenty of platform here that I can do. And I can even get here and start to create apps from different layouts. So in example, let's go for more create options and create an app from a template. Let's take a look at this. This is some templates that we have here. Let's pick up one, like a help desk, or a budget tracker, or onboarding task, or size inspection. Let's see this one. When you create one, let's create this for a tablet, this is what we are going to have. We create this, yes, get started. Oh, I missed that one. Let's create one for this. Use. I'm going to create one, and I am going to have basically a set of views, a set of connectors, a set of already pre-packaged. And this is a template. You can create your own from scratch. And this is what I'm going to have. A set of views, connectors, and navigation in an application already created for me. It's going to take a while. I know this is going to be slow, so that's why I have already created one to basically book rooms. And this is the app when it's up and running. I am running the app here, book a room in the reactor, it's connecting to get the data. And sorry for the crappy design. I am not an expert on usability, but I can book a room. Let's go for the second building. How many rooms do we have available here? The book from today, from I don't know, from 3 p.m. to, I don't know, to 2 p.m. Hey, this is interesting. I add some logic here to automatically make the calculations, but it's going to be this, and I'm going to book a room here. So that's it. I have my room booked. This is basically when you're working and you're working in a building or whatever, you need to book rooms. This is what we have, but let's take a look how this works, how this works internally. So this one was created. And this is one of the templates. When you create a Power App, this is what you are going to have. Oh, yes, I know. Sorry about that. This is my demo account, and because the demos are enabled and disabled, they always ask for where I am located. So it's loading to book a room. Let's wait a couple of seconds, and so there it is. This is the main component that we have here in the Power Apps. This is what we create. So we have a view. This case is the landing screen view. This view internally have some objects. I have a rectangle here, another rectangle here, a label with the OR. So a different set of elements here. These are buttons that we have here. This is also a big image. So we have stuff like here. So button, no meeting, button with meeting. What do we have in the button? So hey, I have here some properties around visibility, around some UX properties like the size, the position, the padding, etc. I can go for the color. And then I have actions here. I have some kind of a small code that I can do. And I will say, hey, set this variable to true, set this variable to true, and navigate to this other view. So super simple. It's almost no coding. It's almost basically defining what we want to do. And if I go to the other view, meeting select screen, this is what we have here. Let me close this one. So this is the one that we already seen. And on load is going to show some more scenarios. There are no more meetings. This is the meeting gallery. It's not visible, but this is a template created from scratch. I can change stuff here. I can change if I want here, go back. I can change the color. Again, not a designer. So sorry about my crappy selections, but this is it. And now it's working. I can run this one here, and this is how you are going to see the app. And no coding at all, just creating this. And there are plenty of templates. What I love about this is we have plenty of templates that we can use to create these new apps. A couple of the applications that the kids shows came from templates, and they started to tweak the scenario of the template to fit into theirs. Another tool which is super powerful here, and I want to show you before we move forward, is Power Automate, the one that I told you about the flows. So this is a Power Automate, and it's basically, what do you want to do? Cookies, that's fine. So in example, we have plenty of templates. What do you want to do? Every time that you have an email in Gmail and they have an attachment, save the attachment to your Google Drive. Or in Outlook, the same, and save attachment to the file system. Or in Gmail, save the attachment to the desktop PC. If you want to work with attachments, if you want to do some other stuff, there are plenty of templates. What do you want to do around task completion? So every time, email yourself tweets about certain keywords. Every time someone tweets about something, is going to ask you about, hey, let's do this. So if you select template, it's going to say, okay, in this template, in this automation, you are going to use Twitter and Outlook. So let's do this. So let's log into Outlook. It's going to ask me my credentials. I don't have this one here for Outlook, but if I add these two credentials, I can use the template. Let's create another one. Let's create a very simple one. So in example, let's go for, let me pick up this one. So every time that I have an email in my email account, I want to forward the email to Teams. Teams is kind of a Slack from Microsoft. I want to forward the email to to Teams. So it's going to ask me the credentials, should be signed in automatically. And once it's created, this is what you are going to see once you create an automate. It's basically a visual diagram where you are going to start to define activities. This is a trigger. Every time the new mails arrive, okay, when do you want to check the email? Maybe in the, maybe in the inbox, or maybe in another folder. Every time you have an email there, and you can ask some filters here. Is sending to me or someone else, or CC something. You can do a couple of stuff, post a new message to Teams. This is kind of a Slack. You want to do this in a Slack. Instead of doing Teams, we can say, okay, every time that I have a new email, let's add a new step, and you can start to see here the amount of activities, the actions that I can do. So in example, let's see if we have the Slack. There it is, a Slack. Instead of sending an email to, when I get an email, sending a message to Teams, I said, hey, you know what? Post a message in Slack. When I do this, when I add this, it's going to ask me my credentials to log into Slack, and when I am there, it's going to do this. There are plenty of stuff that we can do. And it is all automated. Every time that we do something, it's going to do something else. So I have here, I have here one, just to show you, which is, I use this, let me do this. This is kind of a tricky one. It's a tricky one because this flow basically creates an HTTP endpoint. This is going to be a URL on the web. And every time that someone calls that URL and sends that information to that URL, it's going to send me a notification. And then I have a condition here. And the condition, I can't remember what I am going to do here. Let me open the condition. Oh yes, because I was asking for a street. If I have a notification, this is part of a system that if I have someone sending a package to that street on another street, I'm going to do one respond good and one respond bad. No coding, and just you created something, a kind of a function on the cloud to basically analyze this. And there are plenty of things that you can do here, plenty of connectors, not only Outlook and Office or Microsoft, you have a Slack, you have Google, you have plenty of other things. And again, if you go to outlook.com and you create a demo account, you're going to start to try around this. And we think it's also super important because it's part of the stuff that we are seeing more and more here. So, any questions around this? There are other platforms who are doing something similar. I know anyone else use something different and something similar? Yes? Which one did you use? What? UiPath. UiPath is close to Power Automate, is to automate this. Power Automate also allows you to do automation of desktop activities. That's a little more tricky, but it's similar to UiPath, and it's super, super powerful. So, yes?
If this, then that.
I'm sorry?
If this, then that.
It's similar to if this and that, the Power Automate part. But the full Power Platform, it's flows or the EF-TTT or more other stuff. But yes, it's very, very similar. Do you know what is the full name? Then that? How many of you know that one? I used to use that one a lot at home with my Alexa devices and my home automation things. Now I write code. It's easier. But hey, this is very, very similar to that idea, the Power Automate part. So almost on time, 2 more minutes. Remember, everything that we've seen today, if you navigate to aka.ms/learn-student, you're going to find there tons of materials to start in different paths for a data scientist, for a low-code, no-code specialist, for a programmer. I'm going to talk a little about programming later today. And we are around. If you have any question, if you have something else, raise your hand. I love to chat. I love to share these kind of things. Now, the next one I think is going to be around coding, which is my main. This is where I am happy. But that's me. That's it for today. Again, the slides, resources, everything that we have here. And I can't remember who is next. I think it's Salman, but it's there somewhere. Salman.